Done, sir.
Today, we have a very accomplished friend, Professor Sultan Ahmed Ismail, as an eminent speaker on our group. We have a very big group of MBSI. He is a member of Planning Commission, Tamil Nadu. We met several times in national science fairs all over India, and we became very, very good friends. He has a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge, which you will listen to him today. Vikas, you can please welcome.
Okay. Good evening to all. Myself, Dr. Vikas. I welcome Dr. Arvind Deshmukh, President MBSI, Microbiologist Society, India. Dr. Arvind, a former professor and head Department of Microbiology from Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, and President Microbiologist Society, Naik-Wadi Nagar, India. Now, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Swaranjit Singh, President MBSI. To his credit, he is among top 2% global scientists for 3 consecutive years. He also served in MTCC, Microbial Type Culture Collection Center, and Gene Bank, now first IDA, International Depository Authority in India, member in 2 WFCC committees, and member task force in National Biodiversity Authority, Chennai. He was awarded Loyola Environment Award, former head Environment Biotech and Microbial Biochemistry, CSIR MTech, Chandigarh. He also awarded Lifetime Achievement Award by St. Xavier College, Ranchi in 2022. Also, he was awarded Lifetime Achievement Award in 2023 by Shulini University, Solan, Himachal Pradesh. His publication are there in very high impact factor journals. Articles are highly cited in literature, H index with 56 and I20 index with 150. And the articles are cited almost around 18,200 times. Sir, I welcome you both, and it's my privilege to welcome you. Now is the time to welcome the speaker of the session, Professor Dr. Sultan Ahmed Ismail. Sir is having a huge series of degrees, MSc, MPhil, PhD, DSc, Diploma in Higher Education. Sir, it's my privilege to welcome you here on this Zoom meeting. Presently, member State Planning Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu, nominated as President of Gandhi Ashram, Tiruchigauda. He is also a task force member, State Planning Commission, Chhattisgarh government, also working as chairman Hydrocarbon Project, former director of Eco Sciences Research Foundation, Chennai, remained head of Department Zoology, later on worked in Department of Biotechnology, New College, Chennai also, and served as a reader in zoology in NCERT from 1987 to 1990. Awarded CASTME Award for 1995 to 94-95 in UK. Eriger Anna Award by Department of Environment, Government of Tamil Nadu in 2005. Award of Excellence by His Excellency Governor of Jharkhand in December 2010. Friend of Nature Award, February 2017. Special award for contribution to the earthworm industry, China. Also remained a champion of Chennai, August 2019. He was also awarded Beacon of Hope Award and annual Sir J.C. Bose Award in February 2020. He was also awarded Inspiring.
क्या हो गया?
Okay. I think some internet problem, sir. So maybe you can please start your presentation.
हाँ, शुरू कर दें?
कर दीजिए. Yes, it is visible. You can please make it full screen. Yes, fine.
Yeah. ये लोग आ रहे हैं, आप admit कर लीजिए उनको. I will not be able to do it.
I'll do it.
Good evening and namaskar to everybody over here. My pleasure and thanks to Swaranjit ji, my good old friend. I have visited his lab and the wonderful work he has been doing. And in fact, he was also useful in assisting one of my students to do a lot of work over there. Thank you very much, sir, for all those opportunities and also meeting your lovely family when I visited Chandigarh. Yeah, and I did not know when Singh Saab said, you got to talk to the student, a microbiologist. I said, I am a macrobiologist, not a microbiologist. I'm a soil biologist. Before I start my talk, I would like to request all the members not to switch on their videos because that will take away much of the bytes, and also to kindly switch off your mics. There will be time for interaction and you can put your questions in the chat with which Singh Saab would be interacting with me the moment I finish. I would like to take you through a general purview of ecology, environment, what's happening around us, everything together, so that we have a general idea as to what's happening around us. I have a great pleasure in informing that this is my 50th year of teaching. So it's my golden jubilee year. I started teaching in 74. The problem today is people talk about climate change. I have always been talking about this, saying that the moment we talk about climate change, people say restoration. We got to restore soils, we got to restore forests, we got to restore every ecosystem possible. But please remember that in case there's a person who is riding a two-wheeler, meets with an accident and his leg is amputated. If we can give back the original leg, that is restoration. If we can give back the original leg, that is restoration. It's not possible. We give a wooden leg and that is rehabilitation. So what we are trying to do for our ecosystems is only rehabilitation. Human beings can never restore nature. Nature restores itself. The only way we can do is mitigation, where we try to do something in favor of the environment so that the environment is able to restore by itself. The opposite to this is adaptation, where we just don't care as to what's happening around us. We just don't care. We just want to allow things to happen the way they are. These are the SDGs today, Sustainable Development Goals. The whole world is talking about Sustainable Development Goals, but we should be very clear as to what is happening, okay? Now, when I tell what is clear, according to some of the targets in the Sustainable Development Goals, please understand that they say that there will be nutritious and sufficient food for all by 2030. We hardly have 7 years. End all forms of malnutrition in 7 years. Double agriculture productivity in 7 years. Improve water and soil quality in 7 years. Maintain genetic diversity of seeds, cultivated plants, and farmed and domesticated animals. Why I'm trying to tell you all this is, please understand how we are getting fooled by people who frame policies. As of today, we are in the 121st position in the world, India. We are in the 121st position. These are the three major components of our ecosystem: air, soil, water. The problem starts by teaching something wrong to our children. Basically, we try to tell our children in school, so parents who are listening to me, please try to tell your children, when they teach about living and non-living, we try to tell children that air is non-living. Yes, air is non-living. What are we? We are living. But if I remove the non-living air from my body, I become non-living. This interrelationship is never communicated to children. Water, we teach them as non-living. We call ourselves living. But if we remove the non-living water from my body, I become non-living. This relationship, along with the two more parameters, we call them as the Panchalokas in our country, right? Our entire perception when we talk in G20, when we talk about climate change, is completely, skewed. Because when I ask generally people as to who will eat more, an elephant will eat more or a dog will eat more, our common perception tells us that the elephant will eat more than a dog. But when you go into the details and find out what is the weight of the animal, what is the weight of a dog, how much of feed I can give to the elephant per day, and how much I can give to the dog maximum per day. And then food or medicine is always calculated based on our body weight. So if 5,000 kg elephant eats 50 kgs of grass, 1 kg body weight of an elephant eats only 10 grams. Whereas a dog eats 50 grams. So who eats more? A dog eats more. A dog eats more than an elephant. The perception by body size does not work here because we believe in energy flow. The elephant occupies the first here level where it eats the plants which are directly fixing the energy. Whereas a dog eats the meat of an animal which has eaten the grass, which fixes the energy. There's a reason why in Asian countries generally, we all are vegetarians. What do I mean by vegetarians? You go to any restaurant, order for your non-vegetarian food, what you get is rice, which is vegetarian, chapati or roti, which is vegetarian, you get dal, sabzi, everything is vegetarian, except for a small container which may have 2 small pieces of chicken or meat or fish. Predominant flow of energy in ecosystems, including human beings, is through plant-based food. Please be very clear why I'm trying to talk about all this. Because what has happened today is, when we talk about the word eco means environment, but it actually means home. Home. Eco means home. Home today, in this perception, is the entire earth. So if I study about the earth, it is called as ecology. If I evaluate my earth, it is economy. And the problem today is a conflict between these two. And in these two, something burns, and what burns is ecology. Biodiversity, we are all familiar with. Bio means life, diversity means variety. And all this is biodiversity in our country. We have lovely vegetables in our country. And in each vegetable, we have several varieties that all these belong to our country. For people from the north, the other language which you find here is my traditional local language of Tamil Nadu, which is Tamil. So please see to it that you will be able to appreciate it. And also there are people from Tamil Nadu who would be able to understand it better. So all these are our varieties. So many varieties of animals we had. And then the conflict starts. The conflict starts when we have our own cattle, which is called as Bos indicus. Suddenly another cattle from the west comes into our country, that is Bos taurus. The basic difference in these things you find is, in the case of Bos indicus, you find a big hump, whereas in Bos taurus, there is no hump. In Bos indicus, you will find this curve at the back portion. Here it will be slightly raised and coming back. The problem happened is that if this is Desi, this became Pardesi. And today, they have gone one step ahead. On one side, Government of India, we try to tell people that we got to protect the cattle. Please switch off the mic, whoever is switching it on, please. On one side, we say that we should protect the cattle. And we don't want bulls to be born. We want only cows to be born. So a new technology has come in. Please understand what's happening around us. It's called as a Bellsville sperm sexing technology, where the semen from the bull will be collected and the sex-bearing chromosome Y, which produces a male, will be eradicated. So that only X-bearing chromosomes, only X-bearing sperms will be taken and they'll be put into straws for artificial fertilization. Now, this has already started in India. And this today, if it is a mixed semen, then the farmer has to pay only 10 to 15 rupees. Whereas when there is a specialized one, it will be 150 to 180 today because highly subsidized by the government. But if private entrepreneurs start jumping into it, it may range from 1,500 to 1,800 rupees. But we are preventing a regular mixing of genes of a normal bull mating with a normal cow. Kya zamana aaya bhai? A cow cannot love a bull. Then we came about poultry. In poultry, what happened was, these were our native varieties. And suddenly we went to this white lagoon. Today, everything is white lagoon. Everything is white lagoon. And when I say about white lagoon, when I was young, in 70 days, the hen would stand straight in attention. Today, in 48 days, it's unable to bear its own weight because of hormones and antibiotics in the feed. Now they're planning to bring that stage in 35 days. You can understand what is happening around. The other extreme, fish. We all know that these are our famous freshwater fishes. We also have a famous fishes based on this niche selection. And we have beautiful sea fishes or marine fishes. But most of the fish today is imported from Indonesia and Thailand. Many restaurants, including in Chandigarh or here, this part of our country, you will find that this fish which is imported is actually a freshwater catfish. This catfish, the skin is removed, the bones are removed, and the flesh is slightly colored. So it is bleached with the help of chemicals and lands into our country in the form of an ice block. Now, this fish costs around 300 to 350 rupees, whereas our own native varieties are more expensive. So many restaurants, they buy them, process them, and beautifully serve them to you. And you feel they are soft, sweet ones of only the basa. Please remember these things. I'm not saying that you should not eat fish. Please go to the restaurant, but order for a full fish or a slice of fish which has a bone in it. Because only local fish will have bones in it. What's happening around us? For example, if I take an elephant requires about 1 square kilometer area per day so that it can walk around, eat grass or plants, the trees, and then drink water and come around. But elephants don't walk single. They go as a group. It's a group. And they go as a group. And that's called as the elephant corridor. And it's a huge group which follows. That's the elephant corridor. So they require a large space. But what we do is, due to our own might, we construct walls across them. And then comes the human-animal conflict. One of the fallouts of this is zoonotic diseases. As microbiologists, you will be doing a lot of work on them. Zoonosis or zoonotic diseases were increasing, especially, in fact, even corona or COVID is a zoonotic disease. But what surprised me most was when a lion in our Chennai zoo died because of COVID, telling us the process of anthropognosis, where diseases are moving from human beings to animals. There's a lot of scope for you microbiologists to work on this, as to what are the possibilities and diseases which can move from human beings to animals, whether they are pets or whether they are stray animals or whatever it is, or community-raised or animals. That's our cattle. Now, this cattle, it was used for plowing. It was part of our agriculture system. And as in Punjab, you know it very well, especially Chandigarh. They used to make these cow dung cakes and also prepare manure out of it. And then the biogas plant came in. And then this fellow came. The moment the tractor came in, we told the animals that we don't require it because tractor can plow. But the tractor cannot put dung. Please remember that. Okay. When I plow the soil, what happens is the soil comes up and aeration takes place. When I use heavy machinery, compaction starts working. I want many microbiologists to work on these aspects of the soil to find out what is the relationship in these areas where heavy machinery goes into the field and how many of those animals are being, microorganisms are being affected, and how in a cattle plowed soil, what happens in those systems because of aeration and anaerobic conditions. So when soil gets compacted, air escapes. And when air escapes, soil organisms perish. On the other side, plants. A tree gives me all this. Tree gives me all this. And 21st March is the International Day of Forest. Now, what the government says is, whoever is having the mic on, will you please switch it off? You're disturbing everybody. Now, 21st March is the International Day of Forest. Now, the moment we say that we require 33% green cover, immediately people jump and say Miyawaki forests. Miyawaki is not a forest. Miyawaki is a random dumping of seeds and allowing them to grow. That's not the way it happens. And second important thing is, this is what is a Miyawaki forest. And second thing is, the moment we tell the agriculture or horticulture department, what is it that we can grow? They immediately say, grow casuarina, grow teak. Yes, from the satellite, you will get a green cover. But the litter which falls from that is absolutely useless for the soil. I again want to say, your microbiologists who are today attending to make special type of analysis of soil microorganisms in these litter-based systems and regular forest-based ecosystems. Our native trees, our native plants, they enrich the soil because of their exudates from the roots that enhances microbial density and diversity. And when we cut these trees and when the rains falls, all the water, all the topsoil goes into the sea. What is soil? I'm not going into many details because this is a general audience, so please understand. I'm not going to describe everything about the soil, but only one thing always tells me is whether soil has a brain. That question was asked by one of the leading professors who asked me, you talk so much about soil, but the soil has a brain. And when I started working on soils, when I dig a pit and put any organic matter into it, it gets composted. But when I put a seed into it, which is also organic matter, it germinates. Soil knows what it has to compost, what it has to germinate. Now, this beautiful soil requires our assistance at this point of time. If you ignore, then we are going to starve. If we ignore the soil, we are going to starve. Generally, for our ecosystems, our climate, we require around 2 to 5% of organic matter in the soils. And today, the national average is 0.4 to 0.5%. My own staff here from the agriculture department, the officers who come, they tell that Tamil Nadu has 0.68, but my own experiments with my students show that in pockets of Tamil Nadu, we have 0.2% organic matter. Organic matter needs to be improved. Soil fertility started stealing away the concept because soil fertility, the moment you go and give the soil to assess the nutrient content of the soil, they not only analyze you the nutrient content of the soil and tell you the content of nitrogen, phosphate, and potash, but they also recommend add so much of urea, so much of potassium, so much of DAP. So we started talking soil health, not soil fertility, but soil health. Very simple. Just remember these things in mind, how microbiology can help a person, how microbiologists can help farmers. When you take a cow for a walk, the dropping is there, the dung, leave the dung for 2-3 days. If the dung becomes a dry patty, there is something wrong with the soil. If it crumbles into small pieces, it's a beautiful soil. Microbes are there, microarthropods are there, earthworms are there, and all those are there. I don't need a scientist to come and tell me how good my soil is, right? Now, but unfortunately, today children have not seen this. And when you take them, they will also take pictures of the cow dung. Because nutrients have depleted completely, especially in regions like Bathinda and other things in Punjab, where you find that the entire thing is depleted. There are no nutrients in the soil. The crop which grows on that soil lacks in nutrients. So instead of taking care of the soil, the government of India has come out with a very popular sort of, please switch off your mic. Please switch off your mic, whoever it is. Can you please switch off your mic, sir? And then you can shout at your people. Because the soil lacks the nutrients, the crops don't have enough nutrients. Now, instead of taking care of the soil and giving enough nutrients to the soil so that the plants carry enough nutrients and enrich the grains, the government of India has come with the concept of fortified food. Today, the rice which is distributed through the public distribution system, the rice is collected, sent to a factory where it is powdered. In this powder, iron, B6 and B12 is added, and then again formed into a grain of rice, And this 1 kg of this rice is mixed with 99 kgs of rice, and that rice is sent to the PDS system. So children and adults are eating iron-rich rice. Fair enough. But how much of rice should contain how much of iron? What happens with excess of iron? All this needs to be worked out, because there have been negative reactions in several states, especially where tribals live, because of certain parameters which they carry in the blood. And we use millions of tons of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, millions of tons, but our production has started decreasing since 2000. And all the chemicals we use are going into the waters, completely polluting the drinking water system. And the most famous train of Punjab, which runs from Bathinda to Bikaner in Rajasthan, carrying farmers with cancer traits, and nicknamed as the Cancer Express. So what we eat and drink as children, is it safe? Is it safe? On one side, we call about waste management. Can we call it as resource management? Can we start using them? That's where the term vermitech was coined. The term vermitech is using earthworms in various parameters. Our local earthworms. Usually earthworms can be classified into 3 types: the surface, the subsurface, and the bottom living. 3 types of earthworms. These are our native varieties, very common. But unfortunately, we use imported varieties of earthworms for composting. And this is Euryalus eugene. In Punjab, most of the farmers use Icenia fetida. Any one of these can be used. This is how an earthworm works. It takes the food, and these muscles, they crush the food. The red ones are the hearts. The food is completely digested and enters into the intestine. Every segment has nephridia, which is kidneys, like kidneys of earthworms. They put urea into the intestine. So urea and carbon combines together, and you get a lovely product called as the vermicasting. These are the cocoons of earthworms. Earthworm produces cocoons just like in butterflies. And the young one is born this way. This is how the young earthworm is born. Vermicomposting is very simple. You have cow dung, which has lost its heat completely. Put them in a box or a container, see that there is enough aeration, there is enough things to provide aeration inside, and put the earthworms and leave a cow dung cake on the top. They start multiplying. It's as simple as that. And cow dung is produced in large quantities in India by rural folks in such a difficult situation. And after all the production they do, look at as to who sells it. Amazon, Flipkart, and Big Basket are selling cow dung. They buy it at a very nominal cost from our people, and look at the cost at which they are selling. So rural economy is completely getting lost. And that's vermicompost. Those of you who are watching, and if you have a farm, please remember, the green the leaf, the greener the leaf, nitrogen content is more. The drier the leaf, carbon content is more. And the ratio should not exceed 30:1. Please remember, these are all the carbon-rich materials, and these are all the nitrogen-rich materials. That's why even nature, when it drops the leaves, it drops a combination of dry and green leaves so that it gets composted in the soil. This is how we do composting. We shred the material, we put a small layer of it, and then we add microorganisms. Yes, without you people, we can't do any other work. But the easiest source of microorganisms for me, which I talk to the farmers, is cow dung. Dilute the cow dung, sprinkle on it, add layer by layer, keep sprinkling on it, and finally you cover it. Internal heat starts developing. This heat can go around 60 to 62 degrees Celsius. This heat is very important for me because unwanted pathogens, unwanted pests, unwanted seeds get destroyed. And then I turn it over once after probably about 15 to 18 days. The steam comes out and the whole pile gradually in about 30 to 35 days comes down completely. This material is now very good for earthworms. Coarse sieve the material so that the coarse particles are removed, and the smaller particles, put them in a tank, release the earthworms, sprinkle some cow dung liquid on it, leave them to multiply, and then your vermicompost is ready, fine sieve it, and that's vermicompost. Very simple. Why should I use vermicompost, sir? Because your microbiology is excellent in it. In fact, lots of my students have worked even on microbiological aspects, but I'm not an expert on microbiology, so we take assistance from others. This is one of my students, Priscilla, who worked on it. So it has ammonifiers, it has nitrifiers, it has phosphate solubilizing microbes, sulfur bacteria. You have variety of microorganisms. I'm not going to the details because there's a lot of scope for microbiologists to work on all these aspects. You have varieties of fungi, lots of fungi, including Trichoderma viridae, which is very important for agriculture. We have thermophilic fungal compound. We have algae in it, variety of algae, including Anabaena, and variety. So you have a lot of scope to compare, to find out, to recommend to your farmers as to what will be the best combination, what could be the best microbial combinations that can be generated from making different combinations, and recommend it to them. We have also done biodynamic chromatography to identify, and to our surprise, we found that local earthworm, the biodynamic chromatograms are excellent compared to all the foreign earthworms. So, Dharti Putra bolte na, that's the best. The best local varieties are the best earthworms. But what I am worried is, this machine has come up now. They say that they can give you compost in 24 hours. You cannot make compost in 24 hours. It has to go through mesophilic phase, thermophilic phase, then come back to mesophilic, turn it over, again thermophilic, then come back to mesophilic, and then you cool it, and then you do the compost. Now, these machines are only volume reduction machines. In case any one of them comes and talks to you and tells you that I can prove that I can make compost in 24 hours, just ask that person one question, whether he was born in 10 months or in 10 minutes. Compost cannot be produced in 24 hours. But I can recommend a machine which is definitely proved to be worthy in 24 hours. Yes, I can guarantee that. This is nothing but cattle. Feed cattle with any of the green materials you have from the markets. Cow dung is guaranteed in 24 hours. You can easily handle cow dung. Is that clear? So you can do a lot of microbial analysis of compost produced through this way, through that way, and give various recommendations to the farmers over there. I'm very concerned about seeds. Please understand. So many seeds are there in your own kitchen. This is for your information to grow whatever you want. But high bloom seeds are our traditional native seeds. Remember that. Today, even these seeds come with this color. This color is because of a dirty chemical called as neonicotinoid. It's a neurotoxic chemical. So any of your farmers or your relatives are farmers, and if they are using these seeds, there's nothing wrong in the crop that grows from that. But what I am worried is, the farmer without his knowledge, planting the seeds, by mistake puts his finger towards the lips. Either he's using a PD or a cigarette or whatever it is, or touches the lips frequently, or children play with the seeds and put their fingers in the mouth, then this deadly chemical goes into them and it can be neurotoxic. So please understand that these are all very important for you to understand. We have done alternatives for it. We have found very good response with termite soil. It has, in fact, I would request microbiologists to work more on these combinations of termite soil with other things. Once upon a time, there were only farmer seeds. Today, it's seed politics everywhere. Companies have purchased seeds, and we are moving from biodiversity to genetic slavery. And the conflict has started between hybrids and GMOs. Hybrids are very simple, which you are very familiar with, right? Mango hybrid, lemon hybrid. Whereas GMOs are sourcing a gene from a totally unrelated organism. For us, food is medicine. For people in the European and other countries, they require medicine in food. We don't require medicine in food. They brought in golden rice. We fought against it. Golden rice is a gene sourced from daffodils. Then they wanted to bring in cotton, and they brought in cotton. BT stands for Bacillus thuringiensis, right? Now, this cotton was declared as non-edible, but I'm sorry to say that down south, people drink cottonseed milk and cottonseed halwa. They eat. So it is edible. It is edible. And then they wanted to bring in brinjal, eggplant, BT brinjal, one variety for the whole country. When there are 60 varieties in India, which are now being harvested, and there are about 4,460 varieties in the government of India's ban. And now they want to bring mustard. Please understand all this drama. Please understand. In mustard, they are calling it as Dhara mustard hybrid 11. It's called as hybrid. So the farmer gets fooled to know that it is a hybrid, right? It is indeed a hybrid, but hybrid of genetically modified seeds. I want you people to, microbials, to work and tell me, because for BT cotton, they use glufosinate as a HT plant. And in mustard, they're going to use, glyphosate for BT cotton and glufosinate for mustard. What would be the impact of this on the soil microbiodiversity? And what would be its impact on the health of the soil? All these are open things for you microbiologists to contribute to the world, especially to our own country. Please work on these things. We have been fighting against all this, actually. What will happen? Biodiversity will make all the judo, karate fighting, and biotechnology will shoot it down. I'm talking to you as a former head of the Department of Biotechnology. Now, what I mean to say is biotechnology, the recombinant gene technology, is an excellent technology. Any technology is like a knife. You can either peel a potato or kill a person. We should be wise enough to use the technology where it should be used, not in everything just because it gives you patent rights and that you own a seed. This is not the way it should be done. These are all biopolitics. Please understand that. Take home message for many of you. I always love to talk about this. Please eat properly. Today, most of us are overfed but undernourished. I have seen what happens even in Chandigarh and other places I used to regularly visit. So please remember our national flag. Take something of the first color orange every day in your food. That is oranges or mangoes or papaya or carrot. White, yes, essential for calcium.
Hello.
Sir, should I start? Vote of thanks.
Hello, yes. Hello, yes.
Hanji. Okay, sir.
No. Dr. Ismail will, we have to let
Okay.
him in again. Dr. Ismail.
Okay.
Something went wrong in his problem,
Okay.
internet.
Okay, sir.
So can you let him inside? Can you let him inside?
Yes, sir. I am trying my level best.
You try to let him in again.
Okay, sir. Sir, once he will try, I will definitely allow.
Yeah,
I will
please
let
allow.
him. And
I'm messaging him now.
okay, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, please start. Please start. I will log out. I will log out and rejoin. Vikas.
Okay, okay, sir. Hanji, sir.
Yeah, I will
Sir,
log out and
sir.
rejoin. Please let me rejoin.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Dr. Ismail, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Yeah, please make me.
Yes, yes, I'm making you. Just now, 1 minute, 1 minute. Vikas, make him co-host.
Okay, sir. Doing it.
थोड़ा कर दो यार. I'm sorry for the confusion. I don't know what
No
happened.
problem, no problem. It went
Maybe नहीं हुआ,
some problem,
maybe नहीं हुआ.
some internet problem.
Yeah, some internet problem हो गया, पूरा गड़बड़ कर दिया.
कोई बात नहीं, sir.
Sir, कर दिया.
Yes.
Done, sir.
Yes, very
Okay,
good.
Done,
Very
sir.
okay.
Very good.
Okay, 1 minute. मैं कर दूँ.
Please take your time. No problem.
नहीं आ गया.
Yes.
Yeah, got it?
Yes, got it. The Indian flag.
Yeah, Indian flag जो बता रहा था मैं, और फिर you take any food, white is for calcium, so take enough amount of milk, and if you're a vegan,
Right.
take a substitute. Green vegetables are very important. Chakra is blue in color. Right from childhood, we have been taking water as blue, and the chakra is blue. And there are how many lines in the chakra? 24 lines in the chakra. So 24 hours, follow our national flag. We don't require any food from any part of the world. And you think that these two are going to help us with our food? Not possible. Please understand, especially all those who are having children at home. Most of the sweets which we bought in those days, and if you buy a sweet and leave it on the table in 2 hours, you will get lots of ants on it. Today, you buy it and leave it even for 20 days, ants don't eat it because it is aspartame, no more sugar. Please understand what you're eating. When you go to the hotels, you try to take this soap and put in the mouth, most of it is coated with aspartame or saccharin, right? And all food colors, please be very careful with food colors. Orange is this color. Why is cool drink so red in color? Please be careful about all the food. This coconut water, tender coconut water, which in Tamil Nadu we call it as Elanir, is a very safe food, very safe food. Unfortunately, a huge big hospital complex has started selling this as a powder. They say that buy this powder, mix it in water, your tender coconut water is ready. But when you look at the ingredients, each packet has 14 grams of sugar. Now, what is a diabetic drinking? And most of the beans which come and sold in the market, they're all colored. Please understand what's happening with our food. With cattle, I want you to be very careful because recombinant bovine growth hormone has been produced. Inject this hormone, you can take all the milk out. But in about 3 to 4 years, the cow will develop mastitis of the udder. This is on one side. Children drinking this milk in rural areas, understand that, because there's no pasteurization there. They will attain puberty at the age of 8 or 9. I used to talk about this, but please see what is happening. Just born female calf, giving half a liter of milk. Just born female calf giving half a liter of milk, hormone problems. Please understand what's happening. And everybody wants to eat sweet only with the varch on it. This is not my slide. This is a slide from the Industrial Toxicology Research Center, Government of India. Most of the varch is not made from silver. It is made from 5 heavy metals. Your kidneys are gone. Please understand, analyze before you consume your food. Plastics. Many people claim my microorganism can completely decompose. But all these are laboratory models. The best thing is try to avoid as much as possible, because at the moment, there is no replacement for many plastics. What is required is judicious use of plastic. Can I use the single throwaway type? Not necessary. Where I want to, I can, right? So please understand there are 7 varieties of plastic. Now in the 7 varieties, the 7th variety is any other plastic. It may have bisphenol A. How do I know, sir, what plastic I use? Any good company, you buy a product, you will find a triangle with a number written inside it. This is essential. At the base of the bottle or on the label, anywhere you will find a small triangle with a number written in it. 1, 2, and 5 generally for food. 7 is now included in food, but they must declare it as BPA free. Why I'm trying to tell you this is feeding bottles are coming in plastic number 7, but they should declare it as BPA free, bisphenol A free. The moment BPA was being questioned, now they are bringing BPS. So please, please, please be very careful about it. This is what I happened to see in North India. I went to Delhi for a meeting. The glass tumbler was, the plastic tumbler was there. The recycle marking is there, the triangle, but there's no number inside. These are all recycled plastic. Please be careful in what you eat, how you eat matters a lot. Thermocol is very good for making models or anything. Thermocol plates, you can eat ice cream in it. I don't mind about it. You can keep biscuits, you can keep cold ordinary sandwich and eat. But when you keep anything hot on it, it will leave a mark, which means the stearine has gone into the food and you are eating poison. Please understand, microplastics, I want you to be very careful. All participants of today's conference, please take a stand that you will not use toothpaste or shampoos which have microplastics in them. Long back, they told it by BBC that it is in water. Today, Chennai, I am from Chennai, there are 6 microplastic pieces in every liter of water. Microplastics in the salt, microplastic in fish. Microplastics has come in fruits and vegetables. Please understand, please understand. Microplastic is in the air. Microplastic has come in the placenta. Microplastic has come in the placental blood. That is the safest place between the baby and the mother. So even the placenta. Okay, it has come in human blood and now it has come in breast milk. Please understand the concept, please. Because today health industry is not bothered about our food and our food industry is not bothered about our health. It's only we have to do it. The problem today is frequently we are able to see elephants, but it's months since we have seen earthworms, written by a popular poet called as Kalyanji in Tamil Nadu. So shall we reworm the world? Because today when it rains, water does not percolate. When worms make burrows and it rains, water will come back to us. But if you want to do all this, have patience. Today, even if you walk quietly, there is somebody to push you down. Be careful, do faithfully. And for your children, my humble request, don't force any subjects on them. I could never understand maths and chemistry in my life. Don't think that only these 3 people can survive in this world. And unfortunately, many of you parents, unfortunately, I have to tell you this as a senior citizen here, you think that it is a disgrace to study any other subject. If that is so, you have been listening patiently to a disgrace, because I studied zoology. I did not study any of these subjects. Is that clear? And the greatest reward of my research is Today here, people read that the term vermitech was coined by me. So please understand the science books, they all carry my work. That is the achievement in life. And they read about me in the textbooks. That is what we want. This movement of organic farming was started in Auroville in 1983-84. Bernard was one of the main persons, and I was associated with Bernard to do this. And that's the time when Namalwa joined us, and we three started working together. This was our first training modules and awareness programs. This was the first procedure to be published in India on vermicomposting. First to start vermi-wash for the country. 1999, we started the concept of rooftop gardening, which today people talk and take pride in saying they're doing vegetable gardening. And while working, I wanted to simplify science. My good friend D.K. Pandey always believed in great concepts, so we brought in great simple tasks, great concepts. 100 science experiments for children. They're all available online. You can download, you can do. The books are not available. I'm thankful to APJ Kalam sir for patiently listening to me in these episodes. The problem today is, if it rains and the water falls on the soil, whom does this water belong to? You may say that it belongs to the soil. But if you take a pot and leave it on the soil and collect water in it, then whom does the water belong to? You will say it belongs to you because you have collected it. But I gave you the pot. You have no other pot. Now whom does the water belong to? You hesitate. You hesitate for this imaginary situation, right? Because you have collected the water imaginary. Our farmers, whether it is Punjab or Tamil Nadu, our farmers, their land, they strike, they work. Few corporate companies are giving some money and say that everything belongs to them. I don't want to go into any political talks over here. It's our duty to protect our farmers. And for those who are doing farming, don't get carried away with any of these things, whether it's permaculture or biodynamic or sustainable or natural or organic. What we want is non-synthetic chemical, non-poisonous farming for the next generation. Tamil Nadu government has already brought the organic farming policy, in which I was also instrumental. And I always love this statement by Tagore, that with every child that's born comes a message that God is not yet disappointed with you. Okay, so let us leave behind a healthy environment for the children who are yet to be born. All for Earth's sake. Tree and human thumb is the same. If you go one step further, every fingerprint is different. So if you have a fingerprint that no one else has, leave an imprint that no one else can. Take up a challenge. That's our IBU, but who cares? All the best, good luck. And thank you very much, Swarniji, and all the participants. My apologies for the sudden fluctuation which happened over here, and I lost the connection. Thank you very much, and good luck to you. We can answer a few questions before we go.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful talk.
Thank you.
The PPTs were very, very vivid. I really enjoyed every slide of yours.
Thank you.
And you made so many things clear, so many diverse things you made clear to the audience.
Your line is feeble. Yeah.
Now I invite the audience for any questions they have. If anybody has got a question, please ask.
Yes, sir. This is Lavanya, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Rajeshwari Vedachalam Government College, Chengalpet, sir. And it's thank you very much for a very wonderful, very informative presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, related to the NP, National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, I got the information, still they are going to introduce many transgenic rice seeds. Sir, what about millets? Can we replace them? Because millets can grow in very dry areas also. And we can use the zodiac soil, make it fertile using the earthworms, and go for a mass
Not necessary at all. Millets can be grown in whatever conditions we have in Tamil Nadu. The problem is, the anxiety to own the seed is what is killing the industry.
Yes, sir.
People want to own the seeds. People want to patent the seeds because by modifying even one single gene, they have a right on it according to the laws of the country. So they would like to own the seed so that they can earn money out of it. This thing has to go. No natural product should be patented is the rule. By modifying one gene, it becomes their own product. That's where the whole
Yes,
thing
sir.
is. Yeah.
Why? Because millets have much more nutrients rather than rice, and we can make it as a mass cultivation and give it to the ration shop so that poor people can
No,
become
we are
much more
working on it.
healthy.
We are working on it. In the planning commission, we are working on it.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank
Thanks a lot for.
Thank you.
Take care, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mm. Anybody else?
Good evening, sir. This is Dr. Mubin from Chennai.
Yes,
Uh,
Dr. Mubin.
Sir, actually, you're talking about soil pollution and all those things. Currently, if I see, lot of nanoparticle production happens. Each and every small lab, any college, any chemistry, zoology, botany labs are preparing nanoparticles. There was a time in Second World War when coconut water was used as a injections as an antibiotic, basically. But
No, as
later,
a sort of a revival thing.
revival, as a revival too. But later we found out that even that was laced with DDT, which was banned by the government, but it is went into the environment and the food chain so much that it was found in the mother's milk, like you have said, in microplastics. Now they are finding it in mother's milk. And nanotechnology, the government is approving many projects for nanoparticle production. There is no regulated use or production of these nanoparticles. There is a fear because I have worked on nanotoxicology. In future, can this also lead to same sort of thing?
It can, because nanoparticles would not be visible, and they cannot be recalled.
And their half-life is also not yet been ascertained.
Yes,
because as far as nanoparticle and nanotechnology is concerned, hardly 1 or 2 decade old is the study started or the production started. But there is a mass production suddenly, and there is a huge production in every lab. Most of these city college labs are producing nanoparticles. But where are they dumping it after that?
They will just drain it, put it into a drain. I'm worried about it, actually, as you rightly said. As you rightly said, I wish that you write a note to the Planning Commission of the Government of Tamil Nadu and address it to us. We'll take it. I think it has to be discussed. It has to be discussed, definitely. Put a note and send it across to me.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Same thing, sir. Plastics, microplastics in marine ecosystem also, sir.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Microplastics everywhere. Not only in marine systems, it has entered into through the roots. Any small crack in the root, it has entered into the fruits and also into the vegetables now. It has entered into the breast milk gas, actually.
Yes, sir. And due to climate change 2050, like it's like somewhere I studied newspaper 2050, like Chennai, Mumbai, Goa, all will be in water, seawater. Is it true, sir?
Yeah,
Things
then
can happen like
better
that.
go and learn swimming now itself.
No, sir. Thank you, sir. It's like devastating effect, no, sir. Like 2050, all the cities are going underwater.
Yeah.
Or global warming. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very nice. Any more questions?
Sir, I would like
If
to
there
ask
is no more question.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay,
I would like to ask a single question from Sultan, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, when we talk about plastic, my observation as far as is concerned, I have seen plastic in many forms. For example, like in feathers. Feather are made up of natural plastics, bioplastics. Moreover, in number of seeds also, I think we call jackfruit. Just seed coat of a jackfruit also contain a plastic. So can we use such plastic without any harm to the nature?
You see, what I have been trying to work on with is there are 3 types of plastics which can be produced. One is the regular plastic. You call it as PET or HDPE or LDPE or PVC or polystyrene or whatever it is. That is one side, right? The other side is taking from corn or any of those products, starch. I am against that because it is food for somebody.
Okay.
The third one is a problematic one. Some fellows are taking starch and mixing with the original plastic and preparing biodegradable plastic. Yes, it will biodegrade only the corn particles, and the plastic powder will further contaminate. If you can develop a technology of producing this from the waste which is generated from the food crops, like you said, it is there in the jackfruit. Now, once the jackfruit is taken away, if you're preparing from the skin of the jackfruit or from the onion peels or from such products, then it is a perfect good technology.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Your
you.
presentation was excellent, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, Singh Saab.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Prashant, very much.
Yes.
And if there is no more question, maybe we can conclude.
Yes, please.
So I ask Dr. Vikas.
Yes, sir. On behalf of
Please
all
give
the
the
members.
vote of thanks.
Hanji, vote of thanks, sir. I am starting with it. On behalf of all the members of Microbiologist Society India, I, Dr. Vikas Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Biotechnology, Postgraduate Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh, feel privileged to thank the worthy speaker of the day today, Professor Dr. Sultan Ahmed Ismail, sir. Your lecture and presentation was worth knowledgeable and updated participants in their field of expertise. I am falling short of words to say anything about you, sir. It is a moment of pleasure to witness such a great presentation delivered by you, sir. I thank all the audience, organizers, members, participants who attended their Zoom meeting with their wholehearted participation and made this event successful. At the last, I would like to thank Dr. Deshmukh, President, and Dr. Swaranjit Singh ji for giving me this opportunity to deliver vote of thanks for their Zoom meeting. I thanks once again all of you. Thank you,
I
sir.
also thank all of you for coordinating, Deshmukh and Swaranjit ji, and all the participants who are here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you and namaskar. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
And
sir.
thank you very much, Vikas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot,
very
sir.
much, Vikas, for the
Thank you,
beautiful
Thank you.
welcome.
The full
and vote of
presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye.